What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe. So. I mean, it never ends with these Japanese companies. That sounded slightly racial. So, Nintendo. All y'all Nintendrons out there saying, oh, Nintendo makes the best game, then family game, people, blah, 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 blah. They are evil. They are devious. They have always been evil. They've been hiding behind this facade of play school, of romper room, of ABC and 1, 2, 3, of trying to be the Japanese Disney. So I will assume in response to the not so tariffs, but who knows what's going on with the tariffs, they decide they're going to they put out another release date for the pre-orders, which is April. Is it April 20 something or is it May? I can't remember. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And so they're not raising the price of the consoles. So it's still going to be $450, $449, and $499 respectively, right? But in their infinite wisdom and their evilosity, that's not a word, in their devious natures, they're raising the prices of every peripheral. The dock, the Joy-Cons, the strap, everything, the little plastic wheel you put your Joy-Cons in, everything. Price hike. Is it 10% on 10 to something percent? I don't even know. Because I was listening to Luke Stevens and he ran through it. I was like, wait, because he was streaming today. I was like, huh? What? Did this just happen or something? Because I didn't hear anything about this. So I'm expecting a bunch of, especially AGN, I expect him to come out and say something about that. Or maybe not, because maybe he's like, whatever. It's to be expected. Give them excuses to behave badly. But I don't know if, I'm kind of getting a feeling that Nintendo is self-sabotaging. I think what they're doing is they're trying to see the limit. They did this, like I said before, they did this with the 3DS. They priced it at $350, I believe it was. And it was too much money and people didn't buy it. And so they put it down to, I can't remember what it was, what they put down to, but it doesn't matter. So this is how Nintendo will work it. They're going to put all these prices up. If nobody buys the things, I mean, they're slick because they're increasing the prices of the peripherals, which they sell a lot of those. Every corporation sells a lot of those because A, they're less expensive than the main console, and B, people need them. People need extra controllers. They need the strap. Not really. What else? The wheel, if you want to be, And so if people don't buy it, then they'll drop the price. But they don't want people to just run out and buy everything. I mean, they do, but they want to squeeze as much money out of you knuckleheads, you Nintendrons, as possible. So they're going to put the highest price that they think they can get away with in hopes to sell it. And when the sales are slow, because nobody's spending $95 for a freaking Joy-Con, set of Joy-Cons. That's just ridiculous. When a regular controller costs, well, I think PlayStation raised their prices too. It's 60 something bucks. Is it 69 bucks for Xbox controller? 59 to 69 dollars, depends if it's a special edition, maybe a little bit more. And when it's on sale, it's like 39 or something, 49. Yeah, no, not 95. No. I mean, they were already high, and they added $5. I think they added $5 to them or something. And the dock is like 120 now or 125. They added $10 to it or something. They out their mind. They added money to the strap, little piece of strap. Look, man. I had a video before. I said Nintendo lost their mind. You looking at it. You're looking at a crazy corporation right now. Look. I know everybody's saying, oh, greedy Nintendo, greedy Sony, blah, 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 right? They're literally illustrating the greed, right? Live in our faces. And most people will be like fear mongering, like, oh my gosh, the industry's gonna crash, blah 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 blah. Okay, so in some sense, yes. In the greater sense, hell no. Come on, son. The industry is greater than Nintendo and Sony. Let's just put those two idiots aside for a second and say, what else is the industry? What else is the video game industry? A, mobile, which is the biggest segment of the industry, so that ain't going nowhere. Xbox, PC. If Nintendo and Sony disappeared off the face of the earth, video games would still survive. It may be hard to believe, but guess what? Mad PC gamers, there's plenty of PC games. You got Game Pass, you got PC Game Pass, you got Xbox, Steam, which is the biggest marketplace, and then you got all the other ones. So when you're looking at the video game industry as a whole, Nintendo and Sony make little like that. And you're like, oh, but Sony's the market leader. No, they're not. Nintendo's the market leader. Sony just claims that they've sold a lot of consoles. They haven't, though. They've manufactured. Anyway, I say that every video, just like how Concord is the biggest failure in the history of video games. Got to say that too. But people aren't looking at the industry as a whole. They're not looking at the health of the industry. The industry is healthy. They're making money. And so when Nintendo and Sony are doing these things, increasing prices already, this is unprecedented for a video game console generation to raise prices of existing consoles. It never happened before, ever in the history of video games. In the 50 something years of video games, it has never happened, right? Probably closer to 60. And Sony's leading the way. This seems, some people are like, oh, Sony's a pioneer. They're paving the way for how things are going to be in the future. No, that's not how it works. Consumers will consume, right? So if you keep raising your prices, you will disenchant your consumers and they will stop consuming your product. So they're going to be like, you know what? I'm tired of wasting money on this PlayStation stuff. I'm just going to get Xbox and get Game Pass. Tangent. Side note. Anecdote, if you will. I have a person I know, and he has two small children and a wife, family guy. And I bought a PlayStation 5 Pro, and then he says, "Oh, but my nephew's making fun of me because I have a PlayStation and he has Game Pass and blah blah blah." And I was like, "Yeah, because." Yeah, you get Game Pass, you get all these games, and you get the day-and-day games. And he's like, oh, wow. And they have games for kids? I was like, yeah, they get games. They got plenty of games for everything. So he is this close to going to get an Xbox. I told him to get an S first to see if he likes the ecosystem, get Game Pass, see if you like the games, see how you feel. If anything, you give that to the kids. They can chill with the little S, and then you go get yourself an X with the better graphics, and boom, you're set. You know? And he's thinking about it. He said he was at the store the other day. He was looking at it. He was like, ooh, I'm gonna get him. I'm converting. I'm not even converting. He brought it up to me. So he was like, man, I should go Game Pass. I'm like, oh, really? Okay. I've heard a lot of stories about people going into GameStop and selling their PlayStations to get an Xbox. I've never heard that before in a previous console, or I've never paid attention to it. But did that happen last gen? Like, oh, I bought an Xbox and I'm gonna sell it and get a PlayStation. I mean, maybe. But, people with PlayStations, they got no games. And then the games that they do get, they're like, oh, Xbox. What is this Xbox game doing on my PlayStation? Oh, maybe I should just get an Xbox where all the Xbox games are instead of just 2 or 4. Look, it is greed. It's business and it's greed. And these corporations have enough money to eat certain costs. So if they want to be like, listen, we don't want to kill y'all. We want y'all to have fun time with our console, our product. So we're not going to raise prices. Go out and buy it. Have fun. Buy some games. Make it up some other way. Because they raise prices on games. So why do you need to raise prices on peripherals as well? Man, look. In one instance, I'm like, our president, I have to say it that way because that's the fact, is doing some foolishness. But on the other end, he's exposing these corporations for what they are. Like, you look at Microsoft, you look at Sony, you look at Nintendo. How are they behaving? They're all in the same boat, tariffs, because they all get their stuff made from China, right? I don't know what Apple's doing. I haven't even looked. I don't know what Samsung's doing. I haven't even looked. Maybe they're doing something. Who knows? Or maybe their margins are so high that they don't need to do anything because they still making money. I would say that because a phone does not cost $1,300. I'm gonna just be real. A phone does not cost $1,300. Let's be real. In parts, I'm just off the top of that, maybe 600. Maybe 600. Not no 13. It's, So I don't think that phone prices. And know what's funny about that? Our president said, "Oh, there's exemptions for phones and all this." I'm like, anyway, we talk about video games. So Nintendo's greed is their greed and their hubris are growing, and so at this point, I don't see any way to position Nintendo as a good company at this point, because they've shown their true ways. They've shown their true motivations. Like I said, this is all business, but at the same time, customers keep your business in business. Keep the money flowing. And if you're going to nickel and dime, and you're gonna hope that competition doesn't come out of the woodwork, doesn't come and flank you and knock you out, because that's how it works. Like, look, corporations be like, yeah, we good, and they do this stuff, and they treat their customers like shite, and then some little guy, or maybe a big guy who has more money and the means to knock you out. I mean, it is possible that Nintendo, even Sony, could make a game that would rival Super Mario Kart World. Possibly. Is it probable? I mean, like, if Fortnite made a kart racer, didn't they do something? No, not really. But if Epic went and made an actual kart racer that was chibi, little Fortnite chibi characters, and they maintained all those licenses that they like acquired through Marvel or whatever, they said, yo, we're making a new go to Marvel, or all their licensees, right? They go to, it's like, look, we're making a new little kiddie kart game. It's an offshoot from Fortnite, same engine, but little this and that. We want to include our existing licensees. We'll give you your cut, obviously, or whatever. We'll give you extra couple points or whatever. Boom, boom, boom. They can make it happen. If there is a Fortnite-esque kart racer with all those licensees, forget about it. Mario Kart could kick rocks at that point, because I'm Mando driving the Razor Crest or whatever his Naboo Starfighter is. I like that one a little bit better. Although, you know what? I don't appreciate whoever it was, Dave Filoni. I'm gonna blame you for blowing up the Razor Crest. That was wrong. I was kind of liking that ship, and you just blowed it up, and I was like, okay, that's messed up. You blew up the ship. But yeah, and you have little Grogu in the back, have all the Star Wars characters, Darth Vader's racing Luke Skywalker, all that stuff. Then you got the Disney stuff. They got Disney, whatever, Scooby-Doo, Goku. Everybody's in there racing. Come on, son. Don't tell me if it's a good, competent racer. I think it, and they could just make it open world. Come on, son. They could just copy. They could copy Mario Kart World and just put all the licensees in and forget about it. Mario is done for us, because I'd rather race with the Hulk or whoever else. Imagine the Hulk is all big and he's got a little cart. Money. I'm giving y'all money. Come on, man. Do it. But, Nintendo needs to be checked. Bottom line, Nintendo needs to be checked. They need to be put in place. They need to get the hubris taste smacked out their mouth, because right now they're acting a fool. And they're empowering Sony to do the same. And like I said, is it a coincidence that these are two Japanese corporations? I don't know. And the other thing about Nintendo that is effed up, I should just say the word because I don't want to end up like freaking Jimmy Neutron saying frick. It's fricked up. It's fricked up, guys. Listen, it's fricked up. What the frick? But so the differentiation in the prices. In Japan, the Switch 2 is $339 or something like that, $329, something like that, $330, right? So I'm like, okay, that's the true price of the Switch 2. That's what it is. It's $330. They charge us an extra $120 all across the rest of the world. So I'm like, are they taking a loss in Japan, or is that what it costs? Does it cost $300 and they just getting an extra $30 or something like that? Or is it just under that? I think it's $330. I think it's about $330. That's how much the Switch actually costs. And they say, oh, the regional log, it's regional log for Japan. And so other ones are not regional log, so that's why it costs more. No, that's not how it works. They can make those Switches, the Japan one, not region locked. It's programming, right? Or do they have an extra chip, which does not equate to $120? So there is no excuse for that. Okay, we know the real price. They are extorting everyone else basically, and I'm like, yo, this is ridiculous. I mean, look, I had a very small interest in getting a Switch 2 because I was like, maybe I should jump in this gen. You know, if it's $399, maybe. You know, if the game prices were the same, sure. But I'm looking at what they're doing. I'm like, I cannot back this. I cannot be for a company that's making moves like this. Anti-consumer, period. There's no questionable this and that, or there's no justification of why or how they're doing it. It's just greed. Nah, sorry. And so even Luke Stevens, the nicest streamer on the planet, right? The nicest YouTuber, he's like, you know, maybe we should just hold on for a month or two or three or four. You know, cool. Don't jump out and buy the Switch 2 right off the bat. Just chill and make sure that Nintendo realizes that they can't really do this. I mean, paraphrasing, but it's the same sentiment that I'm saying. Don't buy the Switch 2. Don't buy the game. Don't buy none of it. Don't worry about the FOMO, because honestly, emulation. I'm pretty sure they already got the Switch 2 emulated because it's basically the Switch 1. Well, see, I don't know. They did some, but if the Switch 2 can emulate the Switch 1, then the PC can emulate the Switch 2. When I say emulation, I'm talking about translation layer. That's how they do it. That's how they say they're doing the Switch 1 emulation on the Switch 2, is that there's a translation layer like Photon on Steam Deck. So I'm like, okay, well, if that's the case and it's that easy, if you will, then Xbox will do the same thing. And so backwards compatibility and all that stuff is a breeze now. So it's okay, so sure. But anyway, I'm sorry, getting a little sidetracked. But yeah, this greed is ridiculous. It turns me off of Nintendo even more so. Now, I will go to Epic Universe and I will partake in the Nintendo Land stuff. But I'm in. I'm gonna do the 2 rides. What is it? The Donkey Kong ride and the Mario Kart ride. And that's it. I ain't buying no plushies. I ain't buying no Mario Kart mushroom cakes or whatever they got. I'm not buying none of that. We in, we out. Because no. Look, y'all know, every time I'm sitting here and I'm saying the paramount thing for me is the health of the industry. I want the industry to stay around, be healthy for everyone, so that we can continue to have great games, great creations, great studios making great art, right? But when a corporation is doing these business things that are interfering with the smooth transition, let's just say, into the next gen for Nintendo and Sony, I have nothing but disdain. I'm like, y'all, no, I can't be behind none of that. I can't be behind Sony and I can't be behind Nintendo. If Xbox pull this too, I'm gonna just be like, y'all crazy. I'm going straight PC all the way. That's what's up. Y'all are gonna push people out of the console. Y'all are destroying the console market. And it's not, everybody's like, oh, Xbox is out of the console race, out of the console, no more competition, blah, 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 right? And everyone's trying to blame Microsoft for the lack of competition. And that's why these two, Nintendo and Sony, who are the market leaders, that's why they're doing what they're doing. That's why they're raising prices. No, that's not why they're raising prices. They're raising prices because they have no choice, because they don't have other means of income from their business models. They don't have Game Pass. They don't have day and date on PC. They don't have cloud streaming like Xbox does. So they can't make that extra revenue from other places. And so what do? Phil said this. That's why I said last video, Phil is freaking the prophet, because he said all the things that are happening. He said, yeah, well, there's only two ways to make money. You can either increase the draw from your existing customer base, or find new customers. And what is Xbox doing? They're finding new customers to increase their base, to increase their install base. And in that, they don't need to raise prices on everything across the board, which is what Sony is doing, because they're not increasing their base, because they're still stuck in this old way of selling consoles, selling games. It's so stupid. Whatever. I'm a broken record at this point, because it's frustrating to see. I just hope that they get smacked through the internet. I hope Nintendo gets smacked, because they need it, and I hope Sony gets smacked, because I hope their sales go down. I hope they lose a lot of money, because it's just bullshit. It's not right. And for the whales, they don't care. They're gonna buy it. All the princes out there, the Arab princes, they're gonna buy it, and I don't have whatever. Is that what Sony is catering to? Sure, but there's only a finite amount of those guys, right? Now, how many consoles are you gonna sell to the Arab princes, right? Not a lot. And Nintendo, I don't know what they thinking. They think that family's gonna buy that thing? Nah. Nah. Anyway, I appreciate Marilyn. Appreciate you hanging out. Like and subscribe. Hit me in the comments below. Let me know what you think about Nintendo raising prices again for all the peripherals. Go look it up. It's like $10 a, $5 a, $10 a, $95 Joy-Cons. Really? It's plus taxes over $100 for Joy-Con, and they're not even Halifax. They're not even the magnetic ones. They're the cheap friction ones. I'm like, really? If they were like the new ones, I'd be like, all right, cool. They're the new ones, so they won't fail. But no, they got the failed ones. Man, I swear. Anyway, I preach. I'll take y'all on the next one. Just wait.